Steel decks are all about explosive bodies, direct damage, and really cool plays. So let's talk about my 5 favorite cards in Steel right now. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about my 5 favorite Steel cards, not necessarily in meta or competitive viability, but just for fun. So let's take a look at the first one here, and that is going to be the Plasma Blaster. This is going to be Lilo's little pew-pew gun. 3 cost, non-inkable, super cool ability. Exert this card, pay 2 ink, deal 1 damage to a chosen character. This is that little ping damage that we're used to from cards like, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that, where you're not necessarily killing or KOing something, but you're able to get just enough damage to finish a character off, or to get rid of little 1/1 evasive creatures or something hiding behind a bodyguard. It's a very flexible tool, very unique, and it's going to see a lot of play in all kinds of decks, casual, competitive, whatever you want to call it, because it's just so fun. I mean, it's the blaster that Stitch used. It's a water gun in real life. It's a brilliant card. The art is so cool. But yeah, Plasma Blaster is a very effective item because as long as it doesn't get removed from the field, if you have an extra couple pieces of ink floating around that you didn't use, you can utilize this card to help get damage right where you need it. But let's move on to my boy, Donald Duck. This is the 3rd Musketeer and the final piece of the puzzle. We weren't sure what was going to look like, and we have him 4 ink, an inkable character, 2 strength, 5 willpower, 1 pip of lore. He's got bodyguard and stay alert, which says during your turn, your musketeer characters gain evasive. All of your musketeers have the evasive keyword on your turn when Donald is on your field. That means Donald, Goofy, and Mickey can challenge into evasive characters. What? Goofy heals them. Mickey gives them +1 strength. Donald lets you punch up to things you can't normally hit. Wow. What a great team. This is going to be one of the most fun decks I think we're going to see at the early part of Lorcana, because Donald, Goofy, and Mickey are just such an iconic trio. And look at this artwork that is no longer on the screen because we're moving on to A Whole New World. A Whole New World is a crazy good song. This is a 5 cost, non-inkable action and song. Each player discards their hand and draws 7 cards. This is a fantastic ability. You can use this offensively to mess with your opponent and disrupt their hand. You can use this defensively. If you're running low on resources, you can use this to just get 7 new cards. You can sing this for free as an alternate casting cost, or you can hard cast it for 5. I love this card and the art. Look at that foiling. Ravensburg, you did it again. You did so good with these cards. But this is a utility card. Almost every Steel deck I can imagine is going to run a couple of these because it's just so flexible. You always want to have 7 cards in your hand. Being able to use this in almost any given scenario is great. But we're going to have to move along because we're going to talk about Grab Your Sword. This is an AoE ping card, so it's a 5 cost, non-inkable card. You can sing it just like you could with Whole New World, and it deals 2 damage to each opposing character. So this is one of your best tools to get rid of small weenie decks, low to the ground decks, things with evasive that only have 2 health. You've got this in your pocket to help get rid of a lot of wider boards if you're playing more of a mid-range or a control list where you need to slowly build up your board state, slowly build up your advantage, and your opponent is just going crazy with 1-drop, 2-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop, 1-drop, 2-drop. You're not necessarily going to have enough cards or resources to just get rid of all of them, but Grab Your Sword, that's your tool to just kind of clear out everything and put a lot of pressure on the opponent if they're relying heavily on low to the ground characters. But I can hear in your mind, what if they have a bunch of 3 willpower characters? There we go. Conveniently, the Tinker Bomb is going to help finish that problem for you. So a 6 cost card that can be inked, 4 strength, 5 willpower, 2 pips of lore, shift 4, which means you can shift her onto another Tinkerbell. Rock the Boat is really the thing that makes her scary. When you play this character, deal 1 damage to each opposing character. You can use that 1 AoE damage plus grab your sword to deal 3 AoE damage to everything on your opponent's board. But it's not it. You can do more than that. Puny Pirate says during your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to chosen opposing character. So with the right combo, you get 1 AoE damage with Tinkerbell, 2 additional AoE damage with Grab Your Sword, and then you can deal an additional 2 damage to something else after she challenges and banishes something. That's potentially 5 damage on a single target. That's a lot. It's a lot of damage. That's not very many things have 5 or more willpower outside of certain colors. So that's pretty much the end of my 5 favorite cards. As always, Lorcana is focused on building decks, playing games, and having fun. Enjoy this game with your family, with your friends. Go to your local, support your local game store. Explore the decks, try new colors, ask questions, and let us know what your favorite cards are in Steel. And make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on LorcanaCast.